Okay, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, right. Thank you, sir. Okay, so we have already completed, we have already started this reciprocating air compressor. Okay, so classifications, all those things we have already covered. Principle of operation, how the reciprocating air compressor will work. Okay, that PV diagram, this thing also we have studied. What is the work required? Okay, that formula, work done equal to N by N minus 1. Okay, MRT whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N minus 1. Those work done derivation also we have done. We have also studied regarding isothermal efficiency. Okay, regarding isothermal efficiency also we have done, and we have completed one problem related to this isothermal efficiency in our last class. So today what we are going to do, today we are going to study this volumetric efficiency and the effect of clearance volume. Okay, I will tell you already, we have discussed in unit 1 regarding this clearance volume and shape volume. Okay, so here once again we will see regarding this effect of clearance volume and what is volumetric efficiency. For this volumetric efficiency we have one derivation. Okay, and after that we are going to solve some problems related to this volumetric efficiency. Okay, so today 2 classes I will take. Actually sir will not take class today due to some work. So today, in today's class, our aim is we will study regarding volumetric efficiency and we will study regarding clearance volume. Okay, so this is the aim for today's class. Right. So before that, one small question I would like to give you. Let's see whether you can be able to solve it or not. Right. Suppose we have a question. Just a minute. Let me download this file. Okay, so suppose we have a question. I want you to solve it. Suppose A is to B. Suppose A is to B, it is given as 7 is to 4. And the ratio of A is to B is 7 is to 4. And after 5 years, okay, the ratio between A is to B is, suppose it is 11 is to 7. Then find out what is A. And your options are, option A is suppose 12 years. Option B, 15 years, 13 years. Option C, suppose 25 years. And option D, suppose it is 28 years. So can you answer this question? The present age of A is to B is 7:4. This is the current present age. I think this ratio and proportion you might have studied in CRT class. Present age of A is to B is 7:4. And after 5 years, their age is 11:7. Then what is the present age of A? What is the current age of A? Can you find it out? This is not thermal engineering I am talking about. This is sometimes a beginning question or aptitude question, most probably. Okay, so this question comes under the topic ratio and proportion. I think in CRT classes you might have studied this thing. The question is the current age of A and B is 7:4. And after 5 years, their age is 11:7. Then what is the current age of A? Is it 12 years? Is it 13 years? Is it 25 years? Or is it 28 years? You can put a message, you calculate it, and you can put a message or something like that. This topic is discussed in CRT classes or not? Somebody respond. Regarding this ratio and proportion, have you studied in CRT classes? Have you studied this topic in CRT classes or not? Yes or no? Somebody respond. No. Okay, even if you didn't study it, but this is a common question. Class 7 mathematics. Option D. Somebody is telling option D. 3, not 5. Okay. Anybody else? The question is the current age of A and B is 7:4. Okay, the ratio between the age of A and B is 7:4 in present time. After 5 years, the ratio between their age is 11:7. Then you find out what is the current age of A. Whether it is 12 years, whether it is 13 years, whether it is 25 years, whether it is 28 years. What is the correct answer? Okay. So there are two methods to find out the answer of this question. Actually, this is, you do not require any CRT classes to solve this question. Okay. In class 7, I think you have studied regarding this ratio and proportion. This is class 7 mathematics. Okay. Whether you are from state medium or whether you are from CBSE or whether you are from ICSE board. In class 6 or 7, I think you have studied regarding this ratio and proportion. Okay, you do not require any CRT classes for that one. The thing is, the current age presently. Okay, so present age of A and B, A by B. The present age of A by B is how much? It is 7/4. Okay, so that implies if I will do the cross multiplication, what I will get? 4A is equal to 7B. That implies I can write 4A minus 7B. If this will come this side, the 4A minus 7B equal to 0. Okay, so this is my equation 1. This is one equation. Next is after 5 years, their ratio is 11:7. Okay, so presently the age is A by B. So after 5 years, okay, after 5 years, what will be the age of A? It will be A plus 5 because the current age is A. So after 5 years, its age will be A plus 5 divided by, after 5 years, what is the age of B? It will be B plus, it will be B plus 5. Somebody is telling 25 years. C20 is telling 25 years. Okay, we'll see what is the correct answer.
28.
28. Okay. So you are getting confused between 25 years and 28 years. So the correct answer is 28 years, not 25 years. I will say how. Okay, so after 5 years, A plus 5 by B plus 5, what is their ratio? Their ratio is given 11:7. It is 11:7. Okay, then again here you do the cross multiplication. It will be 7A plus 7 5 is 35 is equal to, it is 11B plus 11 5 is 55. Okay, if all these things we will take to this side, so it will become 7A. This will becomes minus 11B is equal to this 35. It will take to this side, 55 minus 35, it will become 20. So this is our equation number 2. So we have got how many equations? Equation 1, equation 2. So total we have 2 equations. And how many unknowns we have? A and B. Here also A and B. So 2 equations we got and 2 unknown we have. Just solve these 2 equations and we will get the value of A and B. Okay. But this is a conventional method. Okay. So in exam, hardly you will get 1 minute to solve a question. Okay. Hardly you have 1 minute to solve a question in the competitive exams. Okay. So if you will follow this procedure, so it will take 4 to 5 minutes to get the answer. Okay. And you will not be selected. There is a probability that you may not selected for that particular answer. Okay. Because if you are giving some central government exams, like if you are giving some SSC exams or railway exams or GATE exam, okay, in 1 mark, if you will decrease by 1 mark, if you do a mistake of 1 mark, then in 1 mark, 40 to 50,000 students are there. 40 to 50,000. Your rank will decrease for 1 mark. Okay, so that is the effectiveness of this one. Okay, and in some exams, negative markings are also there. The thing is, if you will follow this conventional method, it will be very difficult, not difficult, it will be time taking for you to solve this question. Okay, minimum 4 minutes or 5 minutes it will take to solve this particular question. So here what to do, you have to do some common sense. Okay, always formula does not work, you have to apply some common sense. So what is the common sense here? So we have to calculate the age of A. We have to calculate the present age of A. So what is the present age of A? So present age of A is a multiplication of 7 because A is to B is given 7 is to 4. Okay. So present age of A is a multiple of 7. Now you check in the answer. Now you check in the option. Which one is a multiple of 7? So first option, 12 years. If I will assume present age of A is 12 years. So is 7 is multiple by 12? No. So 12 cannot be the right answer. Second option, 13 years. Is 13 is multiplication of 7? No. 13 is also not the correct answer. 25 years. Is 7 is a multiple of 25? Okay. So that is also not possible. So 25 is also not correct answer. So this 28, is it multiple by 7? Yes, 7 4s are 28. So option D will be the correct answer. Okay. So in this way, within 5 to 10 seconds, forget about 1 minute. Within 5 to 10 seconds, you can be able to give the answer for this question. Okay. So no need to apply the formula, just you have to apply your common sense. That's it. Because we have to find out the present age of A. And present age of A is a multiplication of 7. So you check in the solution which one is multiplication of 7. For example, Suppose here instead of 13, they will give 14. For example, the question is, one second I am writing. Suppose A is to B is given 7 is to 4. And after 5 years, suppose it is 11 is to 7. Then what is the present age of A? Okay. So suppose the options are like this. So 12. Suppose the options are like this. So first option is 12. Second option is suppose 14. Here we have taken 13, but suppose we are taking, suppose second option is 14. The third option is 25, and fourth option is 28. Okay. So we have to find out the present age of A, and present age of A is a multiplication of 7. So 12 is divisible by 7? No. So it cannot be the right answer. 14 is divisible by 7? Yes. 7 2s are 14. So 14 may be the correct answer. 25 is divisible by 7? No. So 25 cannot be the right answer. 28 is divisible by 7? Yes. So 28 also can be the correct answer. Okay. Now, so this 28, this answer is also can also be the correct. So here you are getting two probability. Also check with 11 after adding 5. Yes. So somebody in the message he told also check with 11 after adding 5. Yes. So this you will get if two of your answer will be same. For example, suppose here the first option was 12, second option was 14, okay, third option was 25, fourth option was 28. Suppose in this question, suppose you are getting two options which is multiplication of 7. Then what the next part? The next part is you add 5 years, okay, and the ratio is 11 is to 7. So this part you have to check. So from here you will get your solution. Okay. So in this way you just use your common sense little bit during while solving the problem, and you will get the correct answer for the question. Okay, right. So now we are going to proceed with our next topic. What I told, we are just going to discuss regarding clearance volume. Okay. So regarding this clearance volume, but before starting clearance volume, first I would like to tell you what do you mean by this clearance volume. Okay. And in the engine cylinder, which one is clearance volume, which one is swept volume. Then we are going to discuss regarding the effect of clearance volume, and we will do one small derivation related to this one. Okay. Clearance volume. Clearance volume is indicated as VC. V stands for volume, C stands for clearance. Okay. So in the engine cylinder, which volume is called as this clearance volume, that I am going to tell you. So suppose this is the engine cylinder. This is the inlet valve. This is the exhaust valve. Here suppose we have a spark plug. Here suppose here we have the piston. This is the connecting rod, this is crank rod, and this is the crankshaft. Okay. Top part is called TDC, bottom part of the cylinder is called as BDC. So the thing is, how this piston will move? This piston will do the reciprocating motion. It will move upward, it will move downward. It will move towards TDC, then it will move towards BDC. Okay. So the thing is, when this piston will present a top dead position, when this piston will move upward, and when it will present a top dead position. Suppose the piston is present here. This is the, suppose this position of the piston is called as top dead position. Okay. So when the piston is at top dead center, there is a small volume. You can see a very small volume will be there here. This volume. There will be a very small volume in between the piston and cylinder head. This part is called cylinder head. This part is called as cylinder head. So when the piston will present at the top dead center, there is a very small gap, or there is a very small volume in between the top dead center of in between the piston and the cylinder head. This small volume is called as clearance volume. Okay. It's very simple to remember. When the piston will present at top dead center, then there will be a small volume, or there will be a very small space in between the piston and cylinder head. The top part, this part is called as cylinder head. That small, the volume of this small space is called as clearance volume. Okay. And the second, one more volume we have. Second volume is called as swept volume. Swept volume. Or it is also called as displacement volume. Displacement volume. Okay. It is represented as VS. VS stands for displacement volume or swept volume. Okay. So which one is swept volume? When this piston is moving from, suppose this position is called as bottom dead center. So when this piston is moving from bottom dead center to top dead center, the volume traveled by the piston is called as swept volume. For example, in this case, suppose the piston is moving from this position to this position. So how much volume is traveled by the piston? This much volume is traveled by the piston. The piston will travel this much volume. Okay. So this volume is called as displacement volume or swept volume. Okay. So the top part, this part is called as clearance volume. This part is called as swept volume. What is clearance volume? When the piston is at top dead center, then the space between, there is a small space between the piston and cylinder head. The volume of that space is called as clearance volume. Clearance volume is indicated as VC. Next one is swept volume. So when the piston will travel, this is the piston. When the piston travels from bottom dead center to top dead center, or when the piston travels from top dead center to bottom dead center, the volume traveled by the piston, or the volume covered by the piston, okay, this volume, this is called as swept volume or displacement volume. Okay. And the third point is total volume of the cylinder. Okay. So the third point is total volume of cylinder. Total volume of cylinder. It is indicated as capital V. Total volume is represented as capital V. And what is total volume of the cylinder? It is the summation of swept volume and clearance. Okay. So if we will add this swept volume with clearance volume, this total volume is called as, this is called as total volume of the cylinder. Summation of swept volume and clearance volume. VS means swept volume, VC means clearance volume. Okay. So three types of volumes we have in the cylinder. They will ask this question during the interview. Okay. So when you will attend some core jobs, In that interview, they will ask these types of basic questions. These are the basic fundamental questions. What do you mean by clearance volume? What do you mean by total volume? What do you mean by swept volume? All these things they are going to ask when you will face some interview. Okay. So 3 parts we have discussed. The top part, this part is called as clearance volume. And the volume traveled by the piston from bottom dead center to top dead center, this volume is called as swept volume or displacement volume. And the summation of clearance volume and swept volume is called as total volume of the cylinder. Okay, right. So this is the preliminary idea I have given you. What do you mean by clearance volume? What do you mean by swept volume? What do you mean by total volume of the cylinder? Right. So now we are going to switch over to our notes. Right. Okay. So clearance volume. What do you mean by clearance volume? Here I have mentioned. So clearance volume, it is the space left in the cylinder when the piston reaches at TDC. So in very simple language, I have tried to write it out. Okay, so what do you mean by clearance volume? It is the space left inside the cylinder when the piston reaches top dead center. Okay, so when the piston will be at the top dead center of the cylinder, there is a small space in between the piston and cylinder head. Okay, the volume of that space is called as clearance volume. And why this clearance volume? What is the necessity of this clearance volume? Why this clearance volume was given? It is provided to avoid the piston striking the cylinder head. If this small space is not there, then what will happen? Okay, the piston will strike the cylinder head, and in cylinder head, spark plug is there, inlet valve is there, exhaust valve is there. Okay, all those things are there in the cylinder head. And if the piston will directly strike the cylinder head, it will damage the inlet valve, it will damage the spark plug, it will damage the exhaust valve. Okay, so to overcome these difficulties, there will be a small space which will be provided, that is called as clearance volume, so that it will not strike the cylinder head, it will not damage the inlet valve and exhaust valve and spark. Okay, so this is the definition of clearance volume and the necessity of clearance volume. 2 marks question they will marks. So this is a 2 marks question. What do you mean by clearance volume? What is the necessity of clearance volume? Clear? Right. Now the next one is the effect of clearance volume. So if we are going to increase or decrease the clearance volume, then what happens to the performance of the engine? The first point is, if clearance volume increases, then volumetric efficiency will decreases. Okay, if clearance volume increases, then volumetric efficiency decreases. What do you mean by this volumetric efficiency? Now, in the next slide, we are going to discuss. Okay, we have a small derivation regarding this volumetric efficiency, and after that, one problem also we are going to discuss related to this volumetric efficiency. Okay. But the thing is, if we are increasing the clearance ratio, clearance volume, then the volumetric efficiency will decrease. Okay, why it will decrease? When I will do one derivation related to this volumetric efficiency, you will get to know about this point. Okay, in their derivation, we will get that this volumetric efficiency is inversely proportional to clearance volume. This means if we are increasing the clearance volume, then volumetric efficiency will decrease. That we are going to discuss in the upcoming 10-15 minutes. Next, second point, what is the effect? With increase in clearance volume, more power input will be required to run the compressor. Okay, if the clearance volume will be more, then more amount of power we have to supply to drive the compressor. As I have told you, in case of an air compressor, how the air compressor will run? the crankshaft of the compressor is connected to a motor. So in order to run the compressor, we have to run the motor. That input to the compressor will be given by this motor. Okay. So if we are increasing the clearance volume, then more amount of power we have to supply through the motor. Okay. And the third point is clearance volume also controls the maximum compression pressure. Inside the cylinder during the compression stroke, we are going to compress the air. Okay. Now what will be the maximum temperature, what will be the maximum pressure of the air to which we can compress? That also depends upon the clearance volume. Okay. So these are some effects of clearance volume. You have to remember these effects. Okay, so this is also they can ask a 2 marks question in the exam. What do you mean by clearance volume? 2 marks. What is the effect of clearance volume? 2 marks. Sometimes they will ask, what do you mean by clearance volume? What are the effect of clearance volume? If they will combine both these things, then they will ask it as a 3 marks question. Okay, so that's why some points I have discussed related to this clearance volume. Okay. So these are the 2 marks and 3 marks question that we have discussed. Now next we are going to see if we are providing clearance volume, what will be the formula of work input. Okay. So in terms of temperature, the formula work input formula will remain same. Okay. So this formula already we have discussed. N by N minus 1 MRT P2 by P1 whole to the power N minus 1 by N minus 1. Already we have discussed this formula. The formula will remain same in terms of temperature. But if we see what is this MRT? This MRT is nothing but P into V. This volume formula will change here. How this volume formula will change, we are going to discuss here. Okay, so this one is indicated only formula you have to remember. I don't think they will ask derivation. Only you have to remember the formula and we are going to solve the problem related to this formula. Indicated compressor work with clearance. So in our previous derivation of compressor work, whatever the compressor work we have derived, in that derivation we have done without clearance volume. So you might have remember one diagram we have done like this manner. I will show you. So this is pressure axis, this is volume axis. And in that some diagrams we have done in this manner. This was 0.0, this is 0.1, this is 0.2, and this was 0.3. Okay, like that one diagram we have done without clearance. Here clearance is not there. Okay, this is the intake or this is the suction process. This is the compression process, and this is the exhaust process. And from here, from this diagram, we have drawn the work done formula like this. This is the work done formula that we have calculated. This one, N by N minus 1, MRT, P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N minus 1. Like that one formula we have got. But here, we are going to discuss when clearance is there. If clearance is there, with clearance, how the diagram will look like. So if clearance is there, the diagram, this diagram will shift towards right. Okay, if we are considering the clearance volume, then this diagram will shift towards right. You can see here. Okay, so this diagram shifted towards right, and whatever this volume we got here, this volume. So this volume is known as VC. VC means it is clearance volume. Okay, so this is the basic things that we are going to discuss over here. Indicated compressor work with clearance. Only formula you have to remember. Nothing else is required. So quickly I will tell you what are the terms. So here 4 to 1. This is called as suction process. Okay. The inlet valve will open and air will enter to the compressor. 4 to 1. Then 1 to 2. This is called as compression process. It can be polytropic compression, it can be isothermal compression, it can be isentropic compression. Then process 2 to 3. Okay, so here this process 2 to 3. In this process 2 to 3, it is known as your exhaust process. Okay. Exhaust process means here the exhaust valve will open and the compressed air will enter to the container, and then it will again return back to the initial stage, and again the suction process will start. Okay. And here you can see some volumes will be left behind. This volume is called as clearance volume. I have dotted here. Okay, so this much volume is called as VC. VC stands for clearance volume. This VC is nothing but V3, because at this point the volume is how much? At point 3 the volume is V3. At point 4 the volume is V4. At point 2 volume is V2. At point 1 volume is V1. Okay, so this volume is called as clearance volume, and this volume is nothing but V3. So VC equal to V3 equal to clearance volume. Okay, next VS dash, it is called as effective. Before that we will see this one, VS, it is called piston swept volume. Okay, so which one is piston swept volume? VS, this one. Okay, from this point to this point. Okay, this much part. This part is called as VS. VS means swept volume. Okay, and how to calculate this part? V1 minus V3. Why I have written V1 minus V3? Because V1, which is V1, this is V1. From starting to this point, this part, this much of part is called as V1. What is V3? From starting to this much part, this part is called as V3. So from the total part, if I will subtract this much part, then I will get this part, which is my swept volume, piston swept volume. Okay, so that's why this VS is called as V1 minus V3. V1 means from this point to this point, this is total V1, and V3 means from this point to this point. From the total point, if I will subtract this much of part, then I will get VS. That is the piston swept volume. And what is effective swept volume? Effective swept volume means during a suction stroke, the volume traveled by the piston. Which one is suction stroke? From point 4 to point 1. Okay, so how to get this volume? So total volume is V1 from this point to this point. The total volume is V1. If from total volume I will subtract V4. V4 means from starting to this much of point. This is called as V4. From total, if I will subtract this V4, I will get this much volume. So that's why effective swept volume is V1 minus V4. Okay, and you have what you have to remember? You have to remember this one, this formula. This formula you have to remember. So what is this formula? If in the question that they are given that clearance volume, then the work input formula is this one: N by N minus 1 MRT P2 by P1 whole to the power N minus 1 by N minus 1. And in terms of volume, it is N by N minus 1 P1 V1 minus V4 P2 by P1 whole to the power N minus 1 by N minus 1. These two formulas are there. But mostly this second formula we are going to use during solving a problem. This temperature formula mostly we are going to use. So this formula you have to remember. Okay. So this is P2 by P1. Okay. N by N minus 1 MRT P2 by P1 whole to the power N minus 1 by N. So this one we are going to use. So while doing the problem, I will use this formula, then you will get to know about the use. Right. Now the next one is the derivation, volumetric efficiency. Now we are going to see the volumetric efficiency with clearance volume. So what do you mean by volumetric efficiency? First I will give you the formula. So volumetric efficiency is defined as the ratio between actual volume of air entered to the cylinder and swept volume. Okay, This is our volumetric efficiency. So volumetric efficiency is the ratio between, you can see here, volumetric efficiency is the ratio between actual volume of air entered to the cylinder. Okay, so during the suction stroke, when the inlet valve will open, air will enter to the cylinder. Okay, so how much volume of air is entering to the cylinder during the suction stroke? That is called as actual volume divided by swept volume. Okay, in this way we can calculate the volumetric efficiency. So normally how to calculate this volume, swept volume, that is pi by 4 d square into L into n by 60. This is volume flow rate. N by 60 I have multiplied to calculate the volume flow rate. Volume flow per unit time. Pi by 4 d square L. This is the formula of volume. If I will multiply n by 60, n is speed, revolution per minute. I have divided by 60 to convert it into second. So this unit you will get in meter cube per second. Okay. So for this one, the unit you will get in meter cube per second. Okay. Now next is one small derivation is there. We are going to calculate this volumetric efficiency. So the next is, okay, this one I will derive here. So let me draw the diagram. Then I will start the derivation. Yes, very small and easy derivation it is. This is point 1, this is point 2, this is point 3, this is point. So volumetric efficiency is indicated as eta. And how to solve it? So the formula of volumetric efficiency we got actual volume of air entered divided by swept volume. So this I can written as what is the actual volume? Actual volume means whenever the suction process will start, how much air is entering to the cylinder. So which is suction stroke in this process? This one, this 4 to 1, this is suction. 2 to 1 compression and 2 to 3 it is the exhaust process. So during suction stroke from 4 to 1, okay, whatever the volume entered to the cylinder, that is called as the actual volume. So in place of VA, in place of actual volume, can I write V1 minus V4? Because which one is actual volume? This part is actual volume. Because this is the suction stroke. What happens in suction stroke? Inlet valve will open and air will enter. So the actual volume means whatever the volume of air entering to the cylinder during the suction process. So how much volume it is entering? From 0.4 to 0.1. This much of volume it is entering. Okay. So how I will get is, I will subtract V1 minus V4. What is V1? V1 means from starting to this much of part. This part is my V1. What is V4? From starting to this part. This part is my V4. Okay. I require this much part. So from the total part, if I will subtract this part, then can I get this part or not? So that's why the actual volume entered, I have written V1 minus V4 divided by swept volume. Okay. So swept volume, which one is swept volume? right? So swept volume means, okay, from this point is the maximum volume of the cylinder. So the maximum volume is this one, minimum volume of the cylinder is V3. So from V1 to V3, this is the swept volume. I will draw a dotted line. This volume is called swept volume. Okay, swept volume means what is the maximum volume of the cylinder? Maximum volume of the cylinder is V1. What is the minimum volume of the cylinder? Minimum volume of the cylinder is V3. Okay, so this much of volume, the difference between maximum volume and minimum volume, this volume is called as swept volume. So in place of swept volume Vs, can I write V1 minus V3? Why? Because which one is V1? Okay, so this is point 1. So from starting to this point, this is my V1. Which one is V3? This is point 3. So from starting to here, this point is V3. Okay, which volume I require? I require swept volume. Swept volume means this part. How I will get this part? From total volume, if I will subtract this much of part, I will get this volume. Just a minute. Okay, so if from the total volume, I will subtract this much of part, I will get this volume. So swept volume, that's why I have written V1 minus V3. Okay, so that's why. Just a minute. Okay. Right. So in place of actual volume, we have written this one. In place of swept volume, we have written this. Okay. So now we are going to simplify this term and we will get an expression. So that implies which is equal to, I can write it V1 minus V4 whole divided by V1 minus, what is V3? This V3, this much of volume is also called as clearance volume. Okay, so in place of V3, I can write VC. Why? Because V3 equal to VC. This V3, this volume is called as clearance volume. Already I have explained. So in place of V3, I have written VC. And now, what is total? Which one is clearance volume? From here to here, this is clearance volume. And from this point to this point, it is swept volume. So what I told, what is summation of VC plus VS? Summation of VC plus VS is called as total volume of the cylinder. Okay, summation of clearance volume and swept volume is called total volume of the cylinder. And what is total volume of the cylinder? This one, the highest volume. Which one is the maximum volume? This one, V1. So V1 is the maximum volume, or it is called as total volume of the cylinder. So in place of V1, I can write Vc plus Vs. That implies this volumetric efficiency. In place of V1, I will write Vc plus Vs, or Vs plus Vc minus V4 whole divided by, here in place of V1, again I will write Vc plus Vs, or Vs plus Vc minus Vc. Okay. So in this one plus Vc, this is minus Vc, will get cancelled. Okay. Now what I will get? Vs plus Vc minus V4 whole divided by Vs. Okay. Now I am going to separate all these things. So it will becomes Vs by Vs plus it is Vc by Vs minus it will becomes V4 by Vs. Okay. I have separated the denominator. So that implies volumetric efficiency. How much I will get? Vs and Vs will get cancelled. I will get 1 plus Vc by Vs. I will assume this Vc by Vs as small c. This is called as clearance ratio. Okay. Vc means clearance volume, Vs means swept volume. The ratio between clearance volume and swept volume, this is called as clearance ratio. It is indicated with small c. Okay. So this Vc by Vs I have taken as small c minus V4 by Vs. Okay. So this much of things I got. Now what I will do here, I will multiply Vc and I will divide Vc. Okay. To make it further simplification, what I have done, I have multiplied a Vc, I have divided a Vc. So now what I will get here, it will becomes 1 plus c minus, okay. So this Vc by Vs. Okay. So here I got one Vc by Vs. I will combine it, I will write like this, Vc by Vs into these two things I will write, V4 by Vc. Okay, so that implies volumetric efficiency equal to 1 plus c minus, here Vc by Vs again I got, so Vc by Vs is nothing but small c whole into, okay. So this V4 by Vc. Vc is nothing but V3. Yes or no? So in place of Vc, I can write V3. So this is one derivation of volumetric efficiency in terms of clearance ratio. Okay. And now if you want to convert this V4 by V3 in terms of pressure, okay, so you will get 1 plus c minus c. If this V4 by V3 you want to convert into pressure, so you will get P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by n. Like this one term you will get. Okay. So how to convert this volume into pressure? Because we know for a compression process, PV to the power n equal to constant. So from here, we can have a relationship between pressure and volume. That we get a relationship that is P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by n is equal to V1 by V2. Like that one derivations we have. Like that one expression we get. Okay. So from there, this P2 equal to P3 and P1 equal to P4. Okay. So either you will get P3 by P4 or P2 by P1. Both are same because this is constant pressure line. So P2 equal to P3. This is also constant pressure line. So P1 equal to P4. Okay, so if you will put all these things, so like that one derivation we will get. So in our problem, mostly we require this form. Volumetric efficiency equal to 1 plus C minus C whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N. N is the polytropic index, P2, P1 inlet pressure, P2 exit pressure, and what is this C? This C is called clearance volume. Okay. Sorry, this C is called clearance ratio. What is the formula of this C? VC by VS. C in place of C, you can write VC by VS. VC means clearance volume, and VS is swept. Okay, so this is the small derivations we have related to this volumetric efficiency. Okay, whatever I have written here, just now I have explained. This formula you have to remember. Okay, so two formulas are there. So out of these two formula, this one you have to remember, because while solving the problem, mostly we are going to use this formula. Volumetric efficiency equal to 1 plus C minus C whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N. Okay, what is this C? C is called as VC by VS. Okay, right. So in this way, we have done one small derivation, and now related to that derivation, we are going to solve a question. Okay, so this was this question we are going to solve now. Right. So the question is, first we will read the question, we will write the given data, and then we will proceed. So now the question is, a single stage compressor delivers 0.6 kg of air per minute. Okay, so what is this 0.6 kg of air per minute? This is the mass flow rate of air. It is given in the question, mass flow rate of air. So we are going to write it down. So mass flow rate of air is how much? 0.6 kg per minute. Always I told you in this thermal engineering one, always this mass flow rate you have to take in kg per second. 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 0.6 divided by 60 kg per second. How much it is? Somebody please respond. 0.6 by 60, how much it is? I think 0.01 it is. 0.01 kg per second. Check it out. 0.6 it is 6.5. Now the next thing is the single stage compressor delivers 0.6 kg of air per minute at 6 bar. So inlet pressure is also given. Inlet pressure is also given, that is 6 bar. Okay. So if you want to convert this into Newton per meter square, 1 bar is 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. Now the temperature and pressure, okay, sorry, it delivers 0.6 kg of air per minute at 6 bar. Okay, so the delivery pressure means after the compression, after compressing the air, whatever the compressed air we are supplying to the container, that pressure is given 6 bar. Okay, so this is not P1, this will be our P2, that is the delivery pressure. Next, the temperature and pressure at the end of suction is 30 degrees Celsius and 1 bar. Okay, so the temperature at the suction process is 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, if we add plus 273, so you will get it 303 degree Kelvin, 303 Kelvin, and the pressure during the suction process is 1 bar. So you will get the quick thing. So one pressure is given 1 bar, second pressure is given 6 bar. Two pressures are there. Okay, of course, inlet pressure P1 should be less than P2. That's why P1 is 1 bar and P2 was 6 bar. Okay, if we will multiply 6 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. Now next, the bore and stroke of the compressor are 100 millimeter and 150 millimeter. So bore means diameter. Diameter equal to 100 millimeter, or it will be 0.1 meter, and stroke is, that is the stroke length equal to 150 millimeter or 0.15 meter. Okay. Next, the clearance is 3% of swept volume. What do you mean by this? Can anybody tell? What is the meaning of this line? The clearance is 3% of swept volume. So what do you mean by this? Can you tell? What is this given? The clearance is 3% of swept volume. Can you guess what is this? BC, clearance volume is 10%, 3%, then VS. Okay. This means clearance volume, it is given, clearance volume is 3% of swept volume. That implies we can write VC equal to 3% means 3 divided by 100. Of means into VS. So VC equal to 3 by 100 of VS. That implies if this VS we will take to this side, what we will get? VC by VS equal to 3 by 100. 3 by 100 means 0.03. And what is VC by VS? Okay, so here we have taken what is VC by VS? VC by VS is clearance ratio or small c. In this formula, whatever the small c we are using, that small c is called as clearance ratio. That VC by VS is called as clearance ratio small c. Okay. So we will write here VC by VS equal, that implies small c value is given 0.03. Okay. So indirectly it is given. Next, polytropic index is 1.3. Polytropic index means small n is given. Small s is given 1.3. Okay, we have to calculate volumetric efficiency. We have to calculate power required to drive the compressor if mechanical efficiency is 85%. So mechanical efficiency, eta mech, is how much? It is 85% or it is 0.85% means 0.85. So you be prepared with calculator. Okay, so quickly I will write the formula. You have to solve and tell me the answers. And third thing, we have to calculate the swept volume. Sir, P1 is 1 into 10 to the power 5. What I have written? Okay, I have written 6. Huh? 1 bar means 1 into 10 to the power 5 meter per second. Right. Okay, so this much of things are given, and these three things we have to calculate. So first we are going to start with volumetric efficiency. So our first point is volumetric efficiency. This is the first point that we are going to calculate. So how to calculate the volumetric efficiency? Okay, so we have two formula. Actually, either the volume entered to the air divided by swept volume, or we have the formula 1 plus C minus C whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N minus 1. Okay, whatever we have discussed here. Okay. 1 plus C minus C P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N. Okay, here minus 1 will also. Okay. So this is the formula to calculate volume, sorry, not minus 1. Okay. So 1 plus C minus C whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N. So this formula only we will write here. 1 plus C minus C whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N. So in this formula, that implies volumetric efficiency equal to 1 plus, what is C? C value was 0.03. So in place of C, we will write 0.03 minus, again C, 0.0. You don't cancel this plus C minus C. These two are different. This is plus C, this is minus C into this much. You cannot cancel these things. Some legends are there who will cancel these two things. Okay, do not cancel it because this is only C. This is C into P2 by P1 whole to the power 1 by N. So you cannot cancel these two C. Okay, 0.03 into, what is P2 and what is P1? P2 is 6 into 10 to the power 5. P1 is 1 into 10 to the power 5. So in place of P2, 6 into 10 to the power 5 divided by P1 is 1 into 10 to the power 5 whole to the power 1 by N. P1 is 1 into 10 to the power 5, 0.910, 91%. Okay, so if we will solve this volumetric efficiency, how much we are getting? Volumetric efficiency, if we will solve this, 0.91. Is it correct? Somebody please check, because in the book it is given 85%. Not 5, it is telling 0.91. You check it, or which is equal to 91% according to that one. But in the book, the answer is given 85%. You want to check whether 91% is correct or whether 85% is correct. Somebody please check this one and tell me the answers. Whether 91, whether you are getting 91% or after solving this, you are getting 85%. N means N value. How much N value? N value is 1.3. This N value is 1.3. Don't take 1.4. This N value is 1.3. You solve this equation and tell me how much answer we are getting. .91. So what I have 308 0.91. So only some 5-6 members are there. Okay. They are every day only they are giving the response. Though the attendance of this class is 44, 43, 44 like that, but except 6-7 people, nobody else is giving the answer. Okay. And these 6-7 people are every day they are giving the answers. So what we are doing, we are noting down the roll numbers who is giving the answer, because all these things are recorded. All these classes are recorded. Who is giving the answer, who is giving not the answer, everything we are recording. And whatever these 6-7 people you are giving answers every day, I guarantee you definitely you are going to get some benefits in the exam. Okay. And not only in the exam, in the upcoming 2-3 years, you are going to get the benefits. Okay, because for second year, lots of things we are hearing from the faculties. Okay, regarding the mentality of the students of second year, lots of things are there, lots of gossips are there in the department. Okay, how the students are. Okay, so you do not have a positive impact, you do not have a positive mindset towards the faculties. Okay, so be careful, be very, very careful. This semester, I don't think we will get any offline classes, because previously we are expecting that from July 1st onwards, we will be having offline classes, but now everything is cancelled. There will be no offline class. This complete semester, it will be online classes only. Okay, and we have already completed, I think, 2.5 months. Okay, and in that 2.5 months only, I know 7 to 8 people only, those who are responding during the online classes. Except these 7 to 8 people, I do not know anybody else. Only 7 to 8 or maximum 10 people are there who are responding every day regularly. Out of 40-50 attendance, every day their attendance is in between 40 to 50. But out of that, only 7 to 10 people, they are responding every day. Okay, so what about the other people? I guess right now they didn't listen to me also. They are just opening the mobile and they are just throw the mobile outside. They are just logging and they are just throwing the mobile. Believe me, there is no sequence of attendance. JNTU is not considering any attendance. Do not waste your mobile data if you are not listening to the lecture. Okay, you are wasting your mobile data, you are wasting your time, you are wasting your mobile charge, you are wasting your parents' money. That's it. Because we are not going to consider the attendance, because JNTU will not consider the online class attendance. So do not waste your mobile charge and your internet pack. Okay. So we are getting 0.91%. That's it. In books, the answer might be wrong. So 0.91% we are getting the answer. This is volumetric efficiency. What is the next part? Next part is regarding the power required to drive the compressor. So this power required to drive the compressor is nothing but brake power. Okay, because in order to run the compressor, the power we are supplying through the motor. Okay, and that motor power we are supplying to the crankshaft of the compressor, and from the crankshaft we are getting brake power. So in point 2, indirectly he is asking to calculate brake power. Power required to drive the compressor if mechanical efficiency is 85%. So second point, we are going to calculate brake power or power required to drive the compressor. Okay, so here what to do, the mechanical efficiency formula we are going to use. The mechanical efficiency is indicated power by brake power. Okay, so the mechanical efficiency is how much? Mechanical efficiency is given 85% or 0.85. So mechanical efficiency is 0.85, which is equal to indicated power divided by brake power. Now this brake power we have to calculate. Mechanical efficiency is given. Now we have to identify the indicated power of the engine. Once we will get the indicated power of the engine, we can calculate the brake power. Now how to calculate the indicated power? So to calculate the indicated power or the power of the compressor, we have to apply this formula that I have shown. Okay, this formula, indicated compressor work, to calculate that one, this formula we are going to use. Indicated work done formula equal to N by N minus 1 MRT P2 by P1 whole to the power N minus 1 by N minus 1. This formula we are going to use now. Okay. So let me show you the formula. So indicated power done is indicated power equal to N by N minus 1 MRT1 whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power N minus 1 by N minus 1. This formula we are going to use. From this formula we will get the indicated power. That implies work done during the indicated power equal to, what is N? N is 1.3 divided by N minus 1 means 1.3 minus 1 into, what is the mass flow rate of air? Mass flow rate of air is this much. How much? 0. This is 6 by 600, 1 by 100. So 1 by 100 is 0.01. Okay. So mass flow rate of air is 0.01 kg per second. 0.01 kg per second into, what is our universal gas constant? The value of R is 0.287. You remember the value of R is 0.287 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Okay, this is called universal gas constant. Into, what is T1? That is the inlet temperature. T1 is 303 Kelvin. So T1 is 303 Kelvin. P2 by P1. P2 is 6 into 10 to the power 5. P1 is 1 into 10 to the power 5. So this will be 6 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 1 into 10 to the power 5. This will get cancelled anyway. Whole to the power N minus 1 by N. N is 1.3 minus 1 whole divided by 1.3 minus 1. Solve this one and tell me how much input work done or power we are getting. solve this one and tell me how much answer we are getting here. It comes in terms of kilowatt. 1.929, right? 308 second. 1. We'll get 1.929 kilowatt. Okay. So this is nothing but our indicated power of the compressor. Okay. So now we will apply the formula. Mechanical efficiency is equal to indicated power divided by brake power. So mechanical efficiency was 85% or 0.85, which is equal to indicated power is 1.929 divided by brake power. So from here, we can solve it. The brake power will get 1.929 divided by 0.8. Solve it and tell me how much brake power we are getting. 2 point something will come. 2.26, 2.27, 2.269. So 2.269 kilowatts. So this is the brake power we have. So this formula you have to remember. This formula you have to remember. Just one formula is there. You just remember the formula and nothing is there in the question. You put the formula, you get the answer. Okay, so in this way we have calculated the volumetric efficiency. We have calculated the power required to drive the compressor. Okay. Now the third point, that is the speed of the compressor, we have to calculate over here. Speed of the compressor means that N value in RPM. Okay, the speed of the compressor we have to calculate now. Okay, so this is also a new types of question. We have not solved any question related to this speed of the compressor. How to calculate the speed of the compressor? Okay, so the third point, we are going to find out speed of the compressor. We are going to calculate here speed of compressor. So can you tell me from which formula we can calculate this speed of compressor? Which formula I need to apply to calculate this speed of compressor? So here the speed of the compressor can be calculated from the swept volume. Speed of the compressor will be calculated from swept volume because the volume of the swept, because the swept volume formula is pi by 4 d square L into N divided by 60. Yes or no? This is in terms of meter cube per second. So this is the formula to calculate swept volume. Did I mention somewhere? Somewhere I have told like that. Okay, so pi by 4 d square L. This is the swept volume, and if we multiply N by 60, we will get in meter cube per second volume flow rate. So from this formula, this N value we can find out, because our aim is we have to calculate the speed of the compressor N, and the speed of the compressor we can find out from this formula. Okay, so this diameter is given in the question. Length is also given. I will show you. So diameter and length, both the things are given in the question. And this N value we have to calculate. That is our aim. Okay, so right hand side everything is clear. In the right hand side, diameter is given, length is given, N we have to calculate. In left hand side, this swept volume is there. This swept volume we have to calculate. So once we got the value of this swept volume, we can get the value of N. Now, how to get this swept volume? From the volumetric efficiency, because one formula I have written, volumetric efficiency equal to actual volume of air entered divided by swept volume. So from this formula we are going to use, because we know the volumetric efficiency is 0.91. So this formula we are going to apply now. volumetric efficiency is equal to actual volume of air entered divided by swept volume. This is the formula. Now, what is volumetric efficiency? Volumetric efficiency already we got 0.91. Okay, this already we know. VS we have to calculate. Now our only aim is we have to calculate what is the volume of air that is enter to the engine cylinder. If we can calculate this thing, we can calculate VS. Once we can calculate VS from this formula, we can calculate N. Okay. So now our only aim is we have to calculate this volume flow rate of air. Okay. So for that one, we know air is an ideal gas. Air is an ideal gas, and for ideal gas we have equation PV equal to MRT. For ideal gas we have the equation that is PV equal to MRT. So we are calculating the volume of the air. So this volume of the air, this is the inlet pressure, this is the inlet temperature, this is the mass flow rate of air. Okay. So that implies what is the inlet pressure? Inlet pressure we have P1. Inlet pressure is 1 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. So inlet pressure we will write 1 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square into volume flow rate. This we have to calculate is equal to what is mass flow rate of air? Mass flow rate of air is 0.01. Mass flow rate is 0.01 into here. This R value, it is 287. We cannot write here R equal to 0.287. Why? Because this pressure we have taken in Pascal. So this R also we have to take in joules. Okay. If you are writing R value 0.287, then it will be kilojoules. In that case, this pressure also you have to take in kilopascal. Okay, 10 to the power 2 you have to multiply over here into inlet temperature. What is the inlet temperature? Inlet temperature T1 is 303 Kelvin. So in place of T1, we will write 303 Kelvin. Okay, so now solve this one and tell me what is the volume flow rate we are getting. The answer we will get in meter cube per second. How much we are getting? 0.00869. 0.00869. So we are getting 0.00869 meter cube per second. Okay. 308, 309, 305. Right. Okay. So now we got VA value. Then we will put the VA value over here and we will get the VS value. That implies volumetric efficiency. Okay, so after this one, we will do this one. So what is the volumetric efficiency? Volumetric efficiency is 91% or 0.91. So 0.91 is equal to what is VA? VA is this much, 0.00869 divided by VS. So swept volume, how much we are getting? It will be 0.00869 divided by 0.91. How much it is coming? Swept volume, it is coming 0.00954. Sir, 46. So how much volume we are getting? 0.00954. So here we are getting 0.00954. Unit is meter cube per second. Okay. Now we got the swept volume also. Then from this formula, we can calculate the speed of the engine. Okay. So speed of the engine, we will go to the next slide. 1 minute. Yeah. So now we are going to calculate the swept volume over here. Swept volume. So swept volume formula is pi by 4 v square L into n by 60. That implies how much swept volume we have calculated. It is 0.00956. So it will be 0.00956 is equal to pi by 4 into what is diameter and what is length? Diameter is 0.1, length is 0.15. So diameter is 0.1 square and length is 0.15 into n we have to calculate divided by 60. So now solve this equation and we will get the speed. Tell me how much it is coming. It is coming 485.86. Okay. So speed we are getting 485. Point how much? 485.86. 485.86. So like this manner, we have to approach the question. Once you solve this question, okay, this is a little bit difficult, little bit complex is there because the first 2 points there is no difficulty. Volumetric efficiency, we have direct formula, and power required to drive the compressor, I mean for brake power, we have direct formula. Only difficulty is there here in the case of to calculate the speed of the compressor. Okay, because the speed of the compressor we can calculate from swept volume. Formula is pi by 4 d square L into n by 60. And again, we have to calculate the swept volume from the volumetric efficiency. And again, for this one, we need the actual volume flow rate of air. And actual volume flow rate we can calculate by applying ideal gas equation PV equal to mRT. So from here, you calculate the volume flow rate of air. Then this volume flow rate of air, we will put over this formula for volumetric efficiency and we will get the swept volume. Then this swept volume formula we will apply, and from this formula, this n value we can calculate. Okay. So in this way, we can get all the 3 parts of this question. Okay. So this is little bit important from exam point of view. If once you practice this question, most specifically to calculate the speed of the compressor, 3rd point. That is only important. Okay. So that's all for today's class. Lots of things we have discussed today. I will keep all these things in the group once you go through it. Okay. Once practice this formula if you have time. And once again, we will meet tomorrow with some new problems. Okay. So have a nice day. Be safe. Take care.